Welcome to Learn Yourself. Today we are going to understand the second law of motion. And before starting the second law of motion, we need to understand what is momentum. These topics are from CBSE Standard 9 syllabus from the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. So what is momentum? Momentum is an effect which is produced by the object's mass and its velocity. When mass and velocity we are calculating together, then whatever effect is generated, that is known as momentum. Let us consider two separate examples. First we are taking a truck. Truck is parked at the side of the road. It will not hurt us. If by mistake we are dashing with the truck, then also we will not die. But imagine, truck is moving with certain velocity on the road and you are colliding with the truck. You may die. Why? Because at that time truck was in the speed and it has certain velocity. But the same truck, when it was not there in the velocity, when it was not there in the motion, it won't harm you. It won't kill you. Why? Because speed is the factor here. In another example, let us consider a bullet. So bullet is a small thing. If we are throwing at someone, person will not get harmed by that. But if we are shooting someone with that bullet, with certain velocity, with certain force, then it may kill a person. Bullet is a small thing and when it comes along with certain velocity, it may kill a person. Truck is a big thing, but when it comes with a certain velocity, it may kill a person. So here, the important thing is the object's mass and object's velocity. So whenever object has certain mass and it comes with certain velocity, then its effect will be more. So how much effect it will create, it always depending upon with which speed it is coming, that means with how much velocity it is coming, because when you are throwing something or you are shooting a bullet in certain direction with certain increased or decreased speed, then it is a velocity. So when any object is moving with certain velocity and having certain mass, then it creates some effect. That effect is known as momentum. That effect is known as momentum. Now let us understand its definition. The momentum P. We are denoting momentum here with P. So whenever we are writing a momentum, in a formula we are writing momentum and we are denoting momentum with P. Momentum P of an object defined as the product of its mass. Product means multiplication. So when we are multiplying its mass and its velocity. For any object, when we are multiplying its mass and its velocity, then whatever answer we will get, that is known as momentum. So this is a formula for the momentum. Momentum equals to mass of object and velocity of the object. So what will be the unit of momentum? So here we have to write and we have to combine the unit of both. So for mass unit, we are writing here kg. This is a SI unit of momentum. So mass unit is kg and velocity unit we know that it is meter per second. So when we are combining both of this unit, we are getting this unit for the momentum. Kg meter per second. Kg meter per second, here we can mention this kg meter second raised to minus 1 because it is meter per second. So this unit belongs to velocity and this unit belongs to mass. So when we are combining both of this unit, we will get the unit for momentum because momentum is a product of mass and velocity. Now let us see some of the characteristics of momentum. Momentum has both direction and velocity. It has both because object when it is having a velocity, it is traveling in certain direction. So momentum also has direction and velocity. Now, in which direction the momentum will go? In the same direction where the object is moving. That means same as velocity. The momentum will also go along with the velocity, so that's why velocity and momentum's direction will remain same. Its direction is the same as velocity. What is a velocity? Velocity means speed with a direction. So velocity is always come along with the direction. Now momentum also has a direction, so their both direction will be same. So momentum is equals to mass of an object into velocity of the object. Can we change the momentum? So yes, we can change a momentum, but another factor we have to consider, and that is a time. Let us understand this example that car's battery is dead and we are pushing it from the backside and we are taking it at certain distance. For some time car will not start moving, but after some time, by applying this continuous push to it, by applying continuous force to it, it will come in a motion. So when it is changing its speed, when it is coming in a motion, so the time period is also necessary for which we have applied the force. So we have to consider time factor also, or the time for which we have applied a certain force to object to get that object in a motion or to stop that motion. By that we can change a momentum of object. So the force necessary to change the momentum of an object depends on the time rate at which the momentum is changed. So it is depending upon the time rate. It is depending upon the time rate at which the momentum is changed. So whatever force we are applying, so that force we are applying for how long, that also matters. One big stone is there, we are pushing it and we have to keep it aside. So initially 2 to 3 seconds we cannot push it further or we cannot push it at the side. But if we are continuously doing that for some time, then we may push it to the side. So we have changed its momentum. So the time is also an important factor when we are changing a momentum. So let us summarize the momentum. What is a momentum? Momentum is a product of object's mass and its velocity. It has a direction and direction will be same in the direction of the velocity. Now we can change a momentum, but it is again depending upon the time we have applied the force on the object, that after some time or for how long we have applied the force and we have changed its momentum. So with this understanding of momentum, now let us learn the second law of motion. The statement of the second law of motion is the rate of change of momentum of an object. So when we are changing a momentum, so the rate of change of momentum, that how much it is changing, that is rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to, that means it is depending upon. So here if we want to write, then we can write that rate of change of, that how much it is changing, change of momentum, momentum is P. So rate of change of momentum P is proportional to means it is depending upon the applied unbalanced force. Now what is an unbalanced force? Unbalanced force means if the object is at resting position, we are changing its resting position and we are making it move. If it is moving, then we are stopping it or we are accelerate or decrease its speed. So applied unbalanced force in the direction of the force. So we are changing its momentum by applying force. And how much force we are applying? The unbalanced force we are applying. So it will overcome its inertia, it will overcome its resting position, it will overcome its motion, and we can see a change in its momentum. So here applied unbalanced force will come. Unbalanced force in the direction of the force. In the direction of the force means This change you can see in the direction of the force. If you are applying force in this direction from left to right, then rate of change of momentum, you can see that momentum has changed in this direction only. In which direction you have applied the force. So how much unbalanced force you have applied and you have applied in which direction. In that direction the momentum will change and its rate of changing will be depending upon these two factors. So second law of motion is talking about rate of change of momentum and how this momentum will change when we are applying certain unbalanced force. Then the momentum will change for object. So here we are trying to deriving the mathematical formula for the second law of motion. So second law of motion is talking about the rate of change of momentum. That means earlier what was momentum was there. After applying force, the momentum has been changed. So we are writing here the momentum, the earlier momentum, which is P1, that we can refer it about initial momentum. We know that momentum we are denoting with P. So P1 is initial momentum, and after application of force, the object's momentum will change. That we are writing as P2. So this I will refer as final momentum. How in chapter 8 we are writing the initial velocity and final velocity. Same way, this is the initial momentum and this is final momentum. The difference is final momentum is the changed momentum after application of unbalanced force. Now we know that if we want to see that how much momentum has been changed, then we have to subtract P1 from P2. So let us write here that the change in momentum equals to P2 minus P1. Just like how we are writing the final velocity minus initial velocity to check the difference in velocity or to check the difference in speed. Like that we are writing here final momentum minus initial momentum. Now what is P? P equals to, we know that it is m into v, that is mass and velocity. Now here initial momentum will have initial velocity. Initial velocity is associated with initial momentum. And what is initial velocity? That is u. And final momentum is associated with final velocity. And that is v. This we already know that initial velocity is u and final velocity is v. Now when we are writing P equals to mv, we are writing for P1, which is initial momentum, this v we are replacing with u because it is initial. So m into u we are writing. And for P2, we are writing m into v, which is final velocity. So for initial momentum, we have included initial velocity, and for final momentum we have written here final velocity. The formula is same, P equals to mv, what we have earlier seen, that what is a momentum? Momentum is a product of mass and object's velocity. So this velocity I have changed here according to the initial momentum and final momentum. Now let us put these two values over here. Here momentum has changed due to the velocity has changed, but the object will remain same. So mass for this object will remain same because object is one only. So mass is not going to change. So here m is same for both of this momentum. So I am writing here mv minus mu. I have put this two value in this equation. Now m is common, so I am writing out of the bracket and then I am writing v minus u. Then I am writing v minus u. So for this formula, we can say that change in momentum or rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum is proportional to this quantities. Now rate of change of momentum is also depending upon for how much time we have applied the force. So here it is also depending upon the time. Now rate of change of momentum is also depending upon, or this quantity is also depending upon how much force we have applied. So rate of change of momentum, we can write F also. F suggesting that how much unbalanced force we have applied on this object. So F is proportional to mv minus u divided by t. Now this proportionality sign I am replacing with k, which is a constant. So km v minus u divided by t. So F, which is unbalanced applied force to change the momentum of an object, equals to km v minus u divided by t, where v is final velocity, u is initial velocity and t is time, where m is a mass and f is force, which is unbalanced applied force to change the momentum of object. So here we got our formula that F equals to km into the bracket v minus u divided by t. Now if we will see that v minus u divided by t is acceleration. V minus u divided by t is acceleration. So another formula which we can derive from this is F equals to km and a, where a equals to v minus u divided by t. So F equals to ma. That is also one of the formula which we are going to use. So there are two formulas, k, and our formula is m into bracket v minus u divided by t. F equals to kma. Now when there is a proportionality constant k, then what value we can take as a k? So let us understand the value of k, which is 1. Let us understand why the value of k is 1. So from the second law of motion, we derive two formulas, and those are F equals to km v minus u divided by t and F equals to kma. Now we are talking about the value of k, and value of k is chosen 1. Why? Because whatever the unit force we are taking is 1. So what is a unit force? So 1 unit of force is defined as the amount that produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in an object of 1 kg mass. So for 1 kg mass, 1 unit force is producing 1 meter per second square acceleration. So that is 1 unit force. And here in both of these formulas, we are taking k equals to 1. Because when we are taking 1 unit force, k into 1 kg mass, because that is the as per the definition, that 1 kg object which has a 1 kg mass, and it will gain 1 meter per second square acceleration. So here as per the definition, when we are taking 1 kg mass object, this 1 unit force will produce 1 meter per second square acceleration to that object. So for that, if we will take this, that 1 unit force equals to k into 1 into 1. This one is a kg and this one is acceleration. Then k's value will be 1. Why? Because we have taken 1 unit force. So in these two formulas, we are taking k equals to 1. That means our final formula is F equals to ma and F equals to mv minus u divided by t. Yes, actual formulas are this, but the formulas which we are going to use in the numerical are these two formulas. So you have to remember these two formulas. But if the question will ask that why case value we are writing 1, then you have to write a definition of your 1 unit force, because force unit we are choosing as such that it will produce 1 unit force for 1 kg object, and it will gain 1 meter per second square acceleration. So these two formulas are important that you have to remember.